Hey guys, what's up? It's AJ from Brock's Table here, and today we're going to try to figure out where in the world Alex DeBrincat will be landing. So, it's now July 7th. Days keep going by. DeBrincat still hasn't been traded, still hasn't signed his RFA deal, which could be a lot of money. Obviously a lot of money. Could be a lot of years, could be short term. No one's too sure yet. No one has any real answers. The two teams it sounds like it could be right now is the Detroit Red Wings, his hometown team, which we have on the screen in front of you, and my New York Islanders. The Islanders have heard the story before. A very scaled player hits the quote-unquote market. This guy's not a UFA, he's an RFA, so it's a little bit different than the other ones. And they could acquire said skilled talent, but he just might not choose to go there, which is, reasonable. It's in his rights. He's not forced to be a New York Islander. No one is. The Islander faithful might just get heartbroken once again, but we have no real clue. It's been a little bit quiet on the DeBrincat end the last few days, so maybe lose up to something. We're going to break down how the teams look with DeBrincat, what the packages could involve, and then we're going to look through your trades on Cap Friendly, not yours, but people on Cap Friendly saying what they think DeBrincat's worth. I'm just going to laugh because I know some of them are going to be very bad. You might think my trades for DeBrincat are very bad, but I think this is what it's going to go for. I don't think he's really going to go for as much as people are expecting. He's an RFA. He asked out of 2 spots now in less than 48 hours. Less than 2 years. He left Chicago, wanted out there, went to Ottawa, got to Ottawa, wanted out of Ottawa. So I don't see his value being that high. You still got to pay him a lot of money. Very, very good player. Great stats career-wise. I'm thinking his contract will come in around over Jesper Bratt's contract. I believe he got like $7 million, but under Timo Meyer's, who got 8.8. I think somewhere like 8.5 to 8.25, somewhere in that range. So, without further ado, let's get into this video. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and let's see what do you guys think of what I think will happen. So, we're going to start off with Detroit here. Makes the most sense. The most likely outcome is him going to his hometown team. And the trade has to happen. The interesting thing with Ottawa is Dorian, one, why would you want to trade in division? That's kind of frowned upon. You don't want to give a very talented player to someone that you're going to have to see a lot in your season or seasons, as, DeBrincat will be there for a long time probably. You don't want to see this guy that you're trading that often. So trading in division is already kind of iffy for me, but if he only wants Detroit, and Detroit's the only team that can really pay him, it's kind of, it's going to happen. The Ottawa Senators need more NHL-ready talent. They're a very good team right now. I don't see them wanting more prospects. They want to try to compete now. Dorian wants to compete now after having a very poor season last year. They need guys to take that next step and make them a playoff team like they might be if they get the right players. And I don't know if Detroit can give that. Sure, look at this team right now. You see the DeBrincat addition, obviously. They haven't given up any real key talent. Who are you taking from this team and putting it in a trade? JT Compher, who they just signed. Andrew Kopp. They're not getting rid of any of their top 3 guys. David Perron, I don't think is pulling in that much value at his age of 33 now, probably. I don't know. It's kind of weird. And defensively, there are a lot of new faces and no one wants Penny Sherratt. So here's the deal we had to come up with. You see some names are missing. Obviously, I'm not going to say the names of who I put in, but going from this, there's really no one besides maybe Fabry, and I still don't think Fabry really does much for them anymore. It's not 2018 anymore. Here's the trade we did. We did Alex DeBrincat and Cole Reinhardt from the Ottawa Senators for Jonathan Berggren. Very, very good first year for the Detroit Red Wings. Sebastian Cossa, very, very bad year. Still a highly touted goalie prospect. He's had a rough few years now. We'll see if he can bounce back. It's kind of like a gamble throw-in for Ottawa to take to maybe help them feel better about the trade. You get this prospect. You guys have been looking for a goalie. They did just sign Korpisalo, but if they can fix Cossa and make him what he was supposed to be, it's a good piece. And the only other NHL guy I took off the team was Dominic Kubalik. Good winger, fine winger, middle 6 winger. He had a very good year last year, at least a very good start to the year. But is that really pushing? Is Berggren and they get a first, obviously, but is Berggren and Kubalik pushing Ottawa to the playoffs? I don't think so. You could go down to their prospect pool. I signed DeBrincat for 4 years by 8.45. Only 4 years because Stevie Y doesn't like giving out big contracts. I know he gave one out to Larkin recently. He's very against big contracts. He also gave out 5 years, 5.1 to Compher. So Who knows? But that's what he said. Came out of his mouth. I mean, I don't know. You can look at their prospects here. I put. I was gonna put Sabrango in a trade. I think Marco Casper is gonna be too valuable in this trade. I don't see him going. If they send him the other way, fair enough. That's a very good piece potentially for the Ottawa Senators. So I don't see Simon Edvinsson going in this trade. Maybe William Wallander. I don't know too much about him. I know he was a first round pick, I believe, 2 or 3 years ago. Other than that, I mean, they have a fine prospect pool. It's just I don't think these guys, like the big name guys, would be moved or dealt in this deal. Maybe they have to be, because I don't really see any NHL ready guys that are gonna really move Ottawa. So maybe you have to give up Casper, and then the package is a lot smaller. I don't know. I feel like they're not giving up any of the big guys for a guy that wants to come and play for Detroit. Like, if DeBrincat tells you that he's coming here, or he really wants to be there, why are you giving up one of your top prospects when you could just sign him next year, maybe? It's very interesting. There's a lot of ways to look at it. I think I'm going to stick with this way for now. But here's a team. It's a good team. I don't think it's a playoff team, though. Like, that second line stinks. It's not a good second line. DeBrincat, Larkin, Raymond, all very good players. I think Raymond's going to have a very good year this year. Andrew Kopp, JT Compher, good. Like, they're good players, but they don't really move you. They're not a real cup-winning second line. And then Daniel Sprong had a great year, but is he going to do that again? Maybe. I like the player a lot, but I don't see it happening. I like Elmer Soderblom. He's like 6'8". He had a pretty good rookie year, but Robbie Fabry, will he be healthy finally? Will he be productive? I don't know. David Perron, solid player. I'm not going to disrespect David Perron. We all respect David Perron here. The fourth line's good. Klim Kostin had a good year with Edmonton. Rasmussen, another big body, and Christian Fischer, who they got from, I almost said Atlanta, Arizona. It's a very mid-forward core. It's really nothing crazy. The top three are very good. The rest is very below average, in my opinion. This is coming from an Islander fan who gets his forward core ridiculed all the time. So it's kind of good players, but I don't think good enough to even make playoffs. Defensively, Wallman was awesome. Seider was awesome once he got away from Ben Sherratt. Sherratt's garbage. They just signed Justin Hull for 3 years by $3.4 million. I mean, people were giving Lou Lamoriello crap for the Mayfield contract. Mayfield's so much better than Justin Hull, and he got only $100K more. Yes, the term shorter, which made the AAV go down for Mayfield. Justin Hull is just not that great. I mean, 3.4, it's not going to end your salary cap. It's not going to kill the cap, but, come on. Gostisbehere, very, very good player, $4.1 million. We'll see what he can do there. Good power play guy. They could really use that. Ole Mata, Gustav Lindstrom. Ole Mata's a good player. Lindstrom, I don't know too much about him. I know he's a fine NHL defenseman is what I've seen, but I can't really give you a breakdown on his game. Goaltender, who's had a great year, and James Reimer, who they got from San Jose. Reimer, all right. They got Alex Leon from Florida. He had a really good year. He should probably be their backup, but we'll see. That's kind of the Detroit breakdown. I think they are the favorites to get him, but I don't think it makes the most sense for Ottawa. Let's look at the Islanders. So here's the team with Alex DeBrincat. It looks really fun. With the cap, it gets a little bit interesting. So here's the first trade. DeBrincat for Ross Johnston, who I know. Ross Johnston, really? You're going to put him in a trade to get cap for away from the Islanders? The Ottawa Senators could use a tough guy on their team. They could use a tough guy on their team. That's all I'm going to say. On the TSN free agency panel, they mentioned how Ottawa should have looked to get tougher. Ross Johnston could be that guy to help them get tougher. One of the best big bodies in the league. I don't think he's really that great, but if you want to get tougher, we'll give you the toughest player in the league. Going off of strictly what TSN said. They get JG Pageau back. Very good player. Very underrated player. Some people say he's bad. He's really not bad at all. Put up 40 points last year, one of the best two-way forwards in hockey, and he was over 53% on face-off draws. Very, very, very good player, JG Pageau. And Oliver Wahlstrom. Now, you can look at Wahlstrom, he hasn't really done much. Yeah, he hasn't been put in great chances to succeed. I think he can still be a very good forward. I think he'd be a very good middle six winger. Has a very good shot, very dynamic. power play player if used correctly. The Islanders power play has sucked forever, and Wallstrom's supposed to be the guy to fix it. Hasn't done that yet, but very young, very talented, and maybe in a very high offensive Ottawa team, he does better. And they get a first-round pick. The first-round pick could be protected, could not be protected. It depends. I know Lou likes doing the protections on the picks. I think if you get DeBrincat and have him signed right away, which we have him here for 8.149, weird number. Yes, I know. We'll get into it. Why we have to do it. If he signs for 1 year, it's protected. If he doesn't, it's not protected. Then you have Cal Clutterbuck going to Anaheim for a cap dump for a 4th-round pick. We're not getting a 7th-round pick back. I don't really know what they would call us to dump Clutterbuck's contract. He makes 1.5 or 1.75, I believe. You have to make a move to fit to break it under the cap, and here's why. You can see the cap space right now, $167. Not good. It's very tough to fit him in here. The team is looking very good, though. I can't lie. DeBrincat, Horvat, Barzal, that's a great first line. You got to go Lee, Nelson, Palmieri here for your second line. I love Engvall, Nelson, Palmieri, but you're paying Lee a lot of money to not be on your top 6. And you need a third line center, and Engvall could be that guy. He's not listed as a center here. I know you hear an airplane going off. Engvall is not listed as a center here, but he can play center. Islanders, one of the Islanders' big reporters, Stefan Rosner, said that he could fill in 3C if he had to. He has played center before. He can do it, and he's trusted enough by the coaching staff, more likely than not, to play in the center role. So for now, we're gonna leave him here. Maybe they make some more moves to free up cap. It's gonna be very tough because DeBrincat's gonna want a premium to play on Long Island, as we've seen before with guys. They have to try to overpay to get him. I don't see DeBrincat taking anything less than 8.15, and this might be the only way. So they're gonna have to figure some stuff out. But we have Simon, Engvall, Hudson Fasching. Simon Holmstrom, solid prospect. He had a pretty solid first-year stat. Well, the stats don't show how well he played. Very good two-way forward. I was very impressed with how he did. And then Hudson Fasching, awesome year. Hudson Fasching stole the hearts of the Long Island faithful. Great player. I'm happy he's back for 2 more years. 4th line, you still have Martin. You have Cizikas, and then Julien Gauthier, who they just signed. Very fast winger. Maybe not the best finisher. You could probably switch out Gauthier and Fasching and make a little bit more sense, but we're not going to get into those, the little things right now. Defense, it's the same. Looks very good. Very, very, very good. Decor, not a single hole. Maybe if you want to replace Aho, eventually you can. I think Aho's a fine 6th defenseman. Mayfield rocks. Rami, Dobson will take that next step, hopefully this year. Pulak, Palak. And then you have Sorokin and Barley, the best goaltending tandem in hockey there. That is really, really, really good. I know you're going to say the bottom 6 probably isn't great. I think Engvall is going to be a very good player for the Islanders. Gauthier, it's kind of a gamble. They need to free up more cap, maybe getting rid of Martin and getting a better third-line winger. They could do that. It's just going to be tough to free up the cap, and they don't really have the room. So we'll see. I mean, you could kind of struggle with Martin. You could try to get more cap by sending Bolduc down and, accruing cap like they did last year. Oh, actually, they can send down Bolduc. They signed him to a one-way, I'm pretty sure. Interesting. I mean, I'm pretty sure they can't send down Sam Bolduc. They did sign him to a one-way deal. But they're going to have to find ways to free up some more cap space, hopefully make another move. I don't really know if they see Matt Martin playing in the year 23-24 for their team, but I also don't see Lou sending both him and Clutterbuck to Robidas Island and not playing anymore and freeing up cap in that way. Let's look at how the Ottawa Senators would be now. All right, so let's look at the Sens if they make this trade with Detroit. Same trade. They get Kubalik, they get Berggren. So they have Kachuk, Stutzlo, Giroux, Batherson, Norris, Kubalik. Not bad. Kubalik's a fine winger. He's definitely not DeBrincat, but he still is a good player. One of their better prospects who played last year in Ridley Grigg. They have high hopes for him. Shane Pinto, they have to bring back for an RFA deal. Maybe he gets more than 2.2, maybe 2.5, maybe 3, or maybe they try to do a long-term deal with him. Very, very good prospect, very good player, very good rookie year last year. Love Shane Pinto, Long Island boy. And Jonathan Berggren on the third line. And then they do have toughness in Zach McEwen, so I take that back. Maybe they don't need Ross now. They did bring back Zach McEwen, or they signed him. Parker Kelly and Matthew Joseph. So maybe they don't need Ross as much as I said before. Forgot about that deal, and they still have obviously cap space for depth pieces like Mark Kastelik and other guys they could bring down. The defense core looks the same: Shabbat, Zub, Chikrin, Hamnick, Branstrom, Bernard Docker, Sanderson. Sanderson's obviously playing. Don't mind that. You could just put Branstrom over, put Sanderson in, and then Korpisalo and Anton Forsberg. It's a good team. It's a better team. It's, there's more depth to it, but is it better than a Wahlstrom Pajot package? Probably not. But hey, if they go this route, they go this route. I think it makes sense for them. They don't have to do as many cap gymnastics as they will with making the trade with the Islanders, even though it's more reasonable to trade them out of the division. Let's look at the Islanders. What the Islanders trade would look like for the Ottawa Senators. You already see there's not as much cap space. Obviously, bringing in Pajot, $5 million, that's a lot of money. Yeah, it's kind of... I think they'd rather probably have the cap room, but the lines are the same. Basically, Norris, Pajot, Batherson instead of Kubalik, Norris, Batherson. Then you just have Ross Johnston. Well, you have Wahlstrom on the third line. Joseph, Pinto, Wahlstrom. That's a very, very young but very good third line. And then Kelly Parker. I don't know if they'd have Ridley Grieg center or fourth line with Ross Johnston, but Ross Johnston. If they really want Ross that bad, they don't want Ross that bad. You could probably just take that out and put what's his face back in. We'll do that now. Yeah, I forgot they got Zach McEwen, so. Maybe they still want Ross Johnston. I really doubt it, though. You could put McEwen in and save some more cap. Not even. You lose cap, actually, because Ross is still signed. Yeah, I don't see this one really happening as much more now that I look at it on paper. It still could. They could still try to make the gymnastic moves to do it, but then it's a lot of sending down, calling up, which it's all paper transactions, to be fair, but it just makes more sense to have the cap space available and have the wiggle room that they'd rather have. Let's look at the trade machine now for DeBrincat. Let's see what we have here. I'm just looking for anything with the Senators involved. I really don't see anything too... I don't see anything too far. No one cares about DeBrincat. This is kind of weird. It's just all... There's nothing about DeBrincat here. Who would have thought? Can we do by team? No, there's really nothing to do. Could we refresh it, maybe? We found a DeBrincat trade. Yay! And it's terrible. So the Arizona Coyotes get a fourth, and they give up a fourth, and they get Kevin LeBanc. No. He'd be a fine player there, just wouldn't happen. The Senators would be giving up DeBrincat, Zub, and a first for Erik Karlsson. I mean, it's not a bad trade. It's a lot of gymnastics to happen there. I don't see it happening. That's literally the only trade we're going to see about Alex DeBrincat. Is he really not being talked about this much? Is he not cared about at all? Look, there's nothing on DeBrincat anyway. There's one Senators trade, and he's the biggest name out there right now. Why are people not making mock trades about DeBrincat going to the Red Wings? There's literally there's two Senator trades. And this one that has nothing to do with DeBrincat. It's all Erik Karlsson. Kind of funny. We're gonna look at this Islanders one. Who says no? Dobson, Wahlstrom, and a fifth-round pick for Nylander and Liljegren. Toronto laughs. They're not giving up Nylander and Liljegren. I think Dobson could be in a deal for Nylander, but that's a lot of work to happen there. I don't want to think about that just yet. So that's it. I thought there'd be more trades on DeBrincat. I apologize about that. We did get one, which would bring Erik Karlsson home. Let me know down below where you think Alex DeBrincat will end up. I personally think he's going to Detroit, but if he goes to the Islanders, I'm very happy. There's just a lot of gymnastics the Islanders and the Senators would have to do to get to the cap limit or get under the cap and feel comfortable to make moves, which is kind of what's throwing me off here. So we'll see. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys next time. Peace out, everybody. Goodbye.